So students, today's class is about third law of planetary motion, Kepler's third law. This is also called law of time periods. Why it is called law of time periods? Because this principle is related to time period. Time taken by the planet to revolve around the sun for one time. Let us see about the motion of the planet around the sun. Here we have sun at the center of the orbit and orbit of the planet. We consider the orbit of the planet. So this is orbit of the planet and the planet is revolving around the sun. So here it is the planet. When the planet is revolving around the sun, it starts from here. Let us assume that this planet starts from here. So it is moving, revolving around the sun in its orbit and comes here to the initial position. How much time is taken by the planet? This is nothing but time period. For example, if you can take Earth, for our Earth, it takes 1 year, 365 and a half days. So time period of the Earth is 1 year, 365 and a half days. So similarly, so every planet has its own time period. So this time period, we denote with this uppercase time t, directly proportional to cube of the semi-major axis. So in the last class, I explained what is semi-major axis. This is the longer distance and this is the shorter distance. This longer distance is called minor axis. Half of this longer distance, this is called major axis. This is denoted by r. So r cube, cube of the major axis, semi-major axis. So mathematically we represent t square by r cube. This is constant. So this is the statement of the third law. Square of the time period is directly proportional to cube of the semi-major axis, or we can say t square by r cube is constant. So we have to verify this statement. For that, we consider this planet. So this is the planet and revolving around the sun in the orbit. Time taken by this planet to complete the orbit for one time, this is the time period. So time period we denote with t. As it is in motion, it is moving, it has velocity. This is linear velocity v, and it is moving in the orbit around the sun. It is revolving around the sun. So it has angular velocity also. Angular velocity we denote with omega. So angular velocity we have omega, this one. Next, this omega and v. There is a relation between v and omega, linear velocity and angular velocity. So what's that one? V equals to r omega. So v equals to r omega. This one, this is the relation between angular velocity and linear velocity. Here, we have to remember that one. Next, there is a relation between time period and omega also, angular velocity also. So this is the angular velocity, omega, this one. This angular velocity is related to here, sorry, this is not fine. Time period as this omega equals to this time period is T. This is 2 pi. 2 pi divided by T is the relation between omega and time period. So these are all the relation between linear and angular quantities. Time period is the time taken by the planet to complete the orbit for one time, and this is the velocity v, linear velocity. This is the angular velocity 2 pi by t, and this is v equals to r omega, relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Okay, so this is about the velocity. Now, coming to the forces. What type of force is acting on the planet, and what type of force is acting between the planet and the sun? So, as this planet is revolving around the sun, now we follow Newton's law of gravitation. There is a force of gravitation between the sun and the planet. Force of gravitation according to inverse square law. So this force between the sun and the planet, this is the force between the sun and the planet, and we denote with this as Fg, force of gravitation, and we have to write the formula for gravitational force. So there is a force acting on that gravitational force. What is this gravitational force? We denote with Fg, gravitational force. According to Newton's gravitational law, G m1 m2 divided by r square. So m1 m2 by r square. R is the distance between planet and the sun. Now we write the same formula here. Yes, G, gravitational force, equals to G. What is capital letter G? This one uppercase, universal gravitational constant. This is constant, same for all the objects in this universe. And this is m1, mass of the sun. So we denote this mass of the sun with capital letter M, uppercase, and m2, mass of the planet, with a lowercase, divided by, we consider this r, radius, semi-major axis, capital letter R. So we consider this is r square. So this is the formula, as this is gravitational force according to inverse square law of gravitation. So this is equation 1. This is the first equation and the second equation. So there is a second force. Actually, gravitational force is acting between the sun and the planet. Here, gravitational force. Then planet has to fall inside the sun. But this is not happening. The planet is revolving in the orbit. How? There is another force which is called centrifugal reaction, which is acting outward and which is equals to gravitational force. This is the centrifugal reaction outside. So this centrifugal reaction, this is we denote with Fc. What's the value of centrifugal reaction? We have to calculate that one. So centrifugal reaction, which is equals to mv square by r, Fc equals to mv, velocity of the planet, square, and divided by r, this one. So this is the second one, second force. So these two forces are equal to each other, gravitational force and centrifugal reaction. Both are equal to each other. We have to equate these two. So when you equate these two here, so I will write that one also here. So this is Fg, Gmm divided with 1, mv square by r. So this mv square by r, this is equal to Gmm by r square. I just equated these two. Next step. Here we have r and r square in the denominator. So we can cancel that one. When you cancel that one, here you will get m, v. So this is square, mv square, and equals to r is cancelled here, g, and m is also cancelled here. So mass of the planet is also cancelled on both sides. You will have only mass of the sun divided by r. The next step is, here we have linear velocity. So here this m is also cancelled, sorry, here we have a linear velocity. Linear velocity is written in terms of omega. Here we have the relation v equals to r omega. Now I will write that one, v equals to r omega. So when I write v equals to r omega, there here we have r omega whole square. This is r omega whole square instead of v, we have substituted r omega equals to g mass of the sun by r. So we can write it as r square and omega square. So this is r square, and next is omega square. So omega square, and this is equals to g m by r. I will take this r square to right hand side. This will be omega square. You will have, so this is omega square then r square is taken to that side, and then here you have, this is equals to g m divided by r square into r to the power of 3. So this is r to the power of 3. And next step is, here we have omega, and we take the relation omega equals to 2 pi by t. So we will take that one here. So omega equals to 2 pi by t, 2 pi by t whole square. So it is whole square. So instead of omega, I have substituted 2 pi by t. And this is equal to here, this is equals to g m by r to the power of 3. So here, coming to this one, again next step is 4 pi square you will have. We are squaring that one. So 4 pi square 4 pi square by t square. This is time period, and this is equal to here g m by r to the power of 3. Now I'll cross multiply this one and take t square by r cube. So this will be, I'll take t square to the numerator. So this is t square, and I divide this with r cube by r cube. And which is equal to, this equals to 4 pi square divided by gm. So this is 4 pi square divided by gm is constant. This one, 4 is the constant value in a number, and sorry, this is 4 pi square by gm. 4 pi, both are constants. Pi equals to 22 divided by 7. G, gravitational constant. Anywhere in this universe, this is constant. M, mass of the sun, constant. So this total t square by r cube is constant. So this is a verification of Kepler's third law.